Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass and welcome to a new series, a new style of video for the channel. A few weeks ago now, or maybe even a month ago, I made a video like this, sitting down, talking to you guys through some of the behind the scenes elements of Seen Through Glass. Now the main feature of this video is going to be talking about camera equipment. So you may not be interested or intrigued by cameras or camera equipment, so feel free to skip this video if you are not. But for those of you that are, we're going to be getting into it very shortly. Before we do that, I want to update you on some news. So you hopefully saw a video a few weeks ago of me announcing that I'm contemplating bringing somebody on board at Seen Through Glass. I massively underestimated the number of responses I would get to that video. I thought I'd get like 50 to 100. I've literally got thousands and thousands of emails. It's been unbelievable. Even though I sort of put in my criteria Southeast/London based, I've been getting applications from Australia, America, Brazil, Sweden. It's been mind-blowing, but I've loved it. I'm afraid I simply do not have the time or capacity to go back to every single person that emailed, mainly because I just underestimated the amount of responses. I think I've kind of created a rule in my head that if you haven't heard back from me 2 weeks after you submitted your application, you're probably not going to hear back from me. I'm really, really sorry. I have started reaching out to a handful of people that I want to meet or talk to or maybe get down to sort of test film some bits. As I say, if you haven't heard from me and you submitted it over 2 weeks ago, I'm afraid that probably means it's a no. I will keep going through emails. I will keep trying to find appropriate people. But yeah, I just massively underestimated that. So sorry. Also, just a side note that I'm probably not going to talk about it that much more after this date. It's such a big decision anyway that I'm not going to rush it, but also it's not an on-camera role, this thing. So you guys may not even notice, well hopefully you will notice, but the addition. So probably going to draw a line in the sand of that. I may tell you more at some further date, but for now, that's all you need to know. So I will draw breath. I will speak less quickly, slower, and we will crack on with the main part of this video, which is what is in my camera bag. So to start things off, essentially, the big camera, what you are watching me on right now, a Samsung NX30. So this is an old body. I actually have a number of these lying around. This camera is about 5 years old now and I absolutely love it. It's super basic. At the time it cost about 500 quid, but now you can pick them up on eBay for like sort of 300 or so. And it just does everything I need. It's interchangeable lenses, DSLR, a pretty basic video function. It wasn't built to be a video camera, but it's an all-round sort of smart techie camera, flip out screen, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, it's just brilliant. So this is what I use. I have contemplated upgrading this a number of times. I just haven't done it. So I'm still rocking the Samsung NX30. A number of lenses. This is a power zoom lens. I've got a wide angle lens that you're watching me on right now. And then I've got the kit lens that you get with it, which is a standard 18 to 55. And then a big zoom lens, which to be honest, I really only use for track day stuff. So when I'm not in the car, the majority of the footage you see is captured with the Samsung NX30. There we go. Woo! The rest of the time, being a car YouTuber, I spend my life filming with GoPros. So if I can count up what I've got, I'm using 4 at the moment. I had to double check that because embarrassingly I have more than 4. I'm a GoPro addict, but in my bag at any one time is almost certainly these 4. Now, most of the time, most of the GoPro footage you guys see will be captured on a Hero 4. Now, I do have a Hero 5, and we're going to get into why I'm using the 4 and not the 5 right now. I was running a Hero 4 Silver, which is like the baby one, for like the last 2 years, but I just beat the hell out of it, so I've just upgraded to the Hero 4 Black. The reason being that in car, so when you're seeing me driving and talking to camera, the audio of this, I think, is unbeatable. I capture all my audio in it. I don't have any other audio in the car usually. Sometimes I do, but usually it's all just off this. For some reason with the 5, they tried to add this like stereo mic function, which I think really buggered it up. It captures too much road noise or background noise, and I just didn't like it. So whilst the I think the video quality is superior, but it's not that much superior to the Hero 4 Black. So for me, this is like the most usable day in, day out, in-car GoPro. The Hero 5, I haven't gelled with it that much yet. When I have been using it, is with this, which is the GoPro Karma stick. So you can slot the 5 in there. And this is a gimbal, very similar to the DJI Osmo that Mr. JWW uses, but it's a bit more basic. It's got less functionality. But I actually really like this, and I'm starting to use it more and more. You may have seen in recent videos footage coming out of that. And together, these are brilliant. But the Hero 5 Black alone, I don't know, yeah, it's not blowing me away. It's incredible, but it's almost a bit overkill, if that makes sense. So I'm loving the Hero 4, but really, I live my life on SeenThroughGlass with the sessions. Now, not a lot of people like these GoPro sessions, but I'm addicted to them. Firstly, because, by the way, this is a Hero 4 session and then the new Hero 5 session. Firstly, because they're so small. You can put them anywhere. They are incredibly rugged. I have run this one over, I've smashed it, I've dropped it, I've kicked it, and it is still going. It's got battle scars all over it. The quality of the 4 was always, it was quite easy to tell the difference, and it wasn't that great, but I just loved, as I say, where you could put it. The 5, I think, is amazing. The Hero 5 session, I think, is unbelievable. Image stabilization, so it glides around, 4K, 1080p at like 120 frames per second. Have I got that right? Maybe 90. Anyway, I love it. It's unbelievable. I use this everywhere, and funnily enough, this is my point of view camera these days. So, a lot of you may remember, back in the day, I used these. Pivot head, originally Durangos, and then the Smart Series. These are wearable cameras, so it's got a 1080p camera in the bridge of your nose. But these days, Don's the STG cap, I use a clip and a GoPro session. Now, it might seem like I can't really see, but I actually can see perfectly because it just rests on my nose there, and I have near perfect vision. So for driving, it's great. And I just prefer the look and the feel of a GoPro behind the wheel. You see more of the car's cabin, and I think the quality is better. So that's how I film point of view, and as I say, I love the GoPro session. Obviously, all those GoPros would be no use without suction mounts. Now, one thing which is essential to know about suction mounts in cars is they have to be attached to a clean surface. So I always have a chamois with me to clean up cars. If you put these on dirty cars, they will come straight off. They're pretty much all official GoPro suction mounts that are pretty good up to 150 miles an hour. This is like an internal one, which I just bought off Amazon for like 15 quid. It's just got more flexibility for like attaching to windscreens and stuff. For the in-car audio stuff, when I'm using the Hero 4, I also use the Frame, which is GoPro's like skeleton mount. This allows more audio in. So that's all of those. Speaking of audio, I find audio like one of the hardest things to capture well, especially when it comes to cars. Most of the time, on top of the Samsung, I'm rocking one of these microphones. Now, this bad boy is the Rode Videomic. I've used this for ages. It's a brilliant directional shotgun mic. So if you're filming like this, it literally can pick up sounds so far away. It is brilliant for cars. But when you're vlogging, and you have the camera pointed with the microphone like this and you're talking, it's very muffled. And a lot of you picked up on that. So I tried to experiment with this, which is the Rode stereo mic, I think. But I don't like it. It picks up too much audio. So there's just too much going on and the voice isn't very clear. Now you might say, oh, Stan, why don't you get the Videomic Pro? Well, embarrassingly, I do actually have a Videomic Pro as well, but I never liked that the day I bought it, so it's just sat in those drawers over there. Really, since the day I bought it, I bring it out on occasions, but yeah, I'm undecided with audio. A lot of people have been recommending Sennheiser, so I'm going to look into them. But yeah, I struggle. I've got a lapel mic on now. I do use a lapel mic every now and again, especially for the driveway goal videos. But when you're vlogging or when you're in car, it's a bore to have multiple audio sources. I know John Olsen does it, but he's a madman. So yeah, still experimenting on audio. I think apart from that, we've got tripod case. Currently I'm using the tripod to film this video. I also use the tripod, for example, if I'm out filming with the car and I want to leave the camera on the side of the road to do some drive-bys, I use the tripod. I have the the anal beads tripod too. This was very much Casey Neistat inspired, but there's multiple reasons of why one uses it. It's not just to kind of rip off Casey Neistat. Firstly, it makes holding the camera easier. You can also hold it further away from your face, especially when I'm using the kit lens. It's quite zoomed up, so this helps hold it far away. And it's a tripod, so you can literally just sit it up wherever, like so, and leave a camera on it. So whilst Casey, I definitely admit, came up with the idea, it is incredibly beneficial, and I really like that, so I use that a lot. And that's probably about it. I try to use polarizers as much as possible when filming cars. That was a trick that a lot of spotters, photographers, London street photographers taught me, that using polarizers is really good for sort of reducing some of the glare on cars. It doesn't always work out with video, but I try and use it as much as possible, and that's one for the Hero 4. So sometimes when you see shots of like driving through the windscreen, it's with a polarizer. Takes a while to set up, but can sometimes be worth it. Plenty of batteries. And that's probably about it. I do have other gear lurking around. I'm a real gear sucker. I just love buying gear, and it's really bad and it's really expensive. But the majority of the time, what I've just shown you is what is in my bag. If I'm going traveling, that is what I shove in the bag. Maybe some walkie-talkies, and I'm on my way. I hope you guys have kind of found this interesting and insightful. It is super nerdy and kind of niche, just for you guys who are interested in camera gear and filming. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure to subscribe for plenty more videos to come.